What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. Look, we got to return back to the Fantastic Four box office. It just got downgraded. You guys probably already saw this. Instead of $40 million this weekend, it made $38.7 million, which is instead of a 66% drop, it is a 67% drop. Yeah, this is really, really, really bad. And if Marvel is smart, they will take a moment. They will start really seriously listening to their audience.
Listen to the fans.
Listening to the people that care about these franchises and stop listening to the shills and everybody out there that's just here to, gas your heads up and make you guys think that your shit don't stink. Everything is just wonderful. Everything is coming up roses. Marvel has been listening to those people. They've been listening to the John Rokas of the world who says, oh, no, it's time to stop putting all the blame on the studios and the creatives, and we got to start blaming the intelligence level of the moviegoers. This is who Marvel has been listening to when it says, hey, how's the movie doing with the general public, with the audience, with the fans? Oh, this fan says, oh, no, everything's great, Marvel. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. That's what Marvel's been listening to. They've been listening to the shills. And the shills have been running this thing, helping them run this whole franchise into the goddamn ground. That's why you got to start listening to honest people who are going to be hard on you and tell you what's really going on. No, we're not here to sugarcoat you and kiss your ass and tell you, oh, everything's coming up roses. Everything is wonderful. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you got my goodie bag waiting for me at the premiere. No, you don't want to listen to them people. The people you want to listen to is your audience, the people that will rip your shit apart. Okay? Because this 67% drop, this comes from you not paying no damn attention to nobody over the last 4 years. If you want to know, Marvel, why is everything so bad? All right? They're coming up with all the excuses in the world, right? They're saying, oh, well, it was the Disney Plus curse. Streaming services, they hurt Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar brands because, it was too much content. And look, I'm not going to say that that's not playing into it because it does. Having a large glut of content, it will absolutely dilute your brand. There's no mistake about that. But two things can be true at once. You can also have too much shitty content out there. Yeah, case in point, this 2025 slate, all right? All of the stuff that we got this year, man. Trash, flop, epic fail, flop, trash, flop. Marvel served us up a buffet plate of bullshit all year long. And look, we ain't done either, okay? I've seen the first 3 episodes of Eyes of Wakanda. I'm ready to update the stamp. It will not be this good stamp. I'm waiting till the last episode just to be sure. But it ain't going to be this good stamp, okay? But look, imagine if all of this was good, all right? Imagine if I could use this good stamp and be good, all the way down and all the way across. All right, going back to this, then it's they're giving us a lot of stuff on Disney Plus, but it's all great. If they came out and said, oh man, we serving up 5-star meals for Marvel and Star Wars, all right, and we're giving you nothing but just great content, you think I'm gonna be mad at that? Yeah, I might say, yo, y'all doing a lot. But hey, keep it coming, baby, keep it coming. I love it. I absolutely love it. We want Star Wars and Marvel and all of these brands to be great. We're the fans. We're the ones that built these joints up to begin with. We're the ones that made Star Wars popular, made Marvel popular. So the more the merrier, man. Give us more greatness. Instead of trying to I'm sorry, man, it's going to be this. All right, this is what y'all getting for all your troubles, for all your fandom. Again, this is coming from a company that doesn't understand what their fans want, even though the fans have been screaming it in their ear. That's why you got this 67% drop. Because people have checked out. They are not rocking with your franchise anymore because you haven't done what?
Really listen to the fans.
And now people no longer care, okay? Comicbookmovie.com. People don't care now. A new report details damage done by Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar by Disney Plus. Yeah, you keep trying to blame other things other than the creatives. Oh, it's Disney Plus's fault. It's Bob Chapek ordering all of this stuff for Disney Plus during the pandemic. Yeah, but it was all trash. Why not make good content? Why not have great storytelling along with interesting characters, okay, instead of just giving us slop? That was the problem. See, they don't want to blame themselves, man. They're always trying to find some third party that they get to point the finger at. It's like, oh, it's the fans. Oh, it's the chuds and the bigots online. It's the racists. Oh, it's Disney Plus. It's everybody but them. We didn't do nothing wrong. It's Bob Chapek ordering too much stuff. It's like, come on, y'all, man. Again, this is part of the problem, that they never learn their lesson. They don't understand their audience. That's number one. You don't understand the audience that you're making the stuff for, all right? Marvel specifically doesn't understand it. Star Wars too. But Marvel, y'all don't understand comic book fans at all. And that's why y'all can come out here. Remember, I always bring this up, okay? A Marvel producer says it's a red flag when filmmakers are comic book fans. You know what? If you had some comic book fans as your filmmakers, that would have cleared up a whole lot of problems, bruh. That would have cleared up a lot of problems. You might not be looking at this 67% drop right now. I'm not saying that it would have been great, but like if you have comic book fans in the mix, then a lot of them fans would have said, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. I don't think these characters are going to work. I wouldn't make a Miss Marvel TV show and then try to force her into the Marvels as a movie character. I wouldn't do that. All right. I wouldn't do the Eternals. I'm not sure we got the right mix and the understanding for the Eternals. I would hold off on that. Let's build on that. Let's wait on that for just a little bit. But see, Kevin Feige, he was going for what? He was going for DEI. He was going for diversity. That's the other problem, is that they kept pushing agendas over the entertainment. It's more important to have an agenda. And see, that's when you don't have these comic book fans as filmmakers and you have some other knuckleheads in there just doing whatever the hell it is they want to do because they got a message to get out there. They got an agenda to push. It's all about DEI. It's all about representation and seeing yourself. We got to do this, this, and this. We got to have a female Silver Surfer. Like, that's the kind of stuff that when comic book fans see it, they check all the way out. But another problem is that comic book fans, we've seen it and we've been there and done that. We've seen the good, the bad, the ugly of comic books. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. There's a lot of shit in comic books that doesn't work. That's why when people say, it's in the comics, I'm like, I don't mean shit. There's a lot of dumb shit in comics. And a lot of this stuff they tried to drag out here. Ironheart. Like, why is Ironheart getting made? Why is this thing? Why did this happen?
Black girl magic.
Y'all was on some black girl magic shit or something. All right? It's all funny and cute. All of the little jokes, all the racial jokes that y'all was putting in this thing probably sound really cute in the studio. And everybody was giggling and laughing and stuff as you guys was writing it out in the writer's room. But what happened when it hits the streets? See, that's what it matters, all right? Then everybody's looking and saying, yeah, man, this is just dumb. This is dumb. The character is stupid. She's actually a villain. I don't like the character. Yeah, and think about it, man. See, comic nerds, they would have told you that. The comic book fans, as filmmakers, would have said, nah, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't make Ironheart. We shouldn't make the Marvels. We shouldn't make a lot of this shit. What was it? Secret Invasion. We should probably just stick to the comic run instead of trying to flip it around and make Samuel L. Jackson or, you know, whatever, into some sort of a racial commentary. Like everything that was going on in the MCU in the last 4 years. It's strictly because of this. This is the reason why you guys got this 67%. Because you see comic book fans as red flags instead of seeing them as, you know, allies. Comic book fans, you've been there, you've done that, you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they should have brought these cats in the room, man. Like, look at this quote. This quote just pisses me off every time I read it. One thing I think is interesting, and specifically for writers, I would say a lot of times we're pitched writers who love Marvel. And to me, that's always a red flag because I go, oh, I don't want you to already have a pre-existing idea of what it is, but that's exactly what you need. You need somebody that understands what it is and what it isn't, all right? What's going to work? What's not going to work? You know, he says, oh, because, you know, you grew up with issue 15 and that's what you want to recreate. No, a lot of these guys, they would have said, hey, we're going to do something new. We're going to do something different, but we're not going to do black girl magic. All right. We're not going to shove characters in. We're not going to do race swaps. We're not going to have a lot of this crap. All right. Because there's no purpose in it. Let's actually create good stories and good characters and move forward. That's what you want your comic book fans to do, to kind of guide you into what's going to work for general audiences. What hasn't worked in comics, we're not going to do something that never worked in the comics and throw it out there for public consumption because it's probably not going to work with the general public either. Like, trust the audience, trust the fans that been there. They understand. And look, in the article, Kevin Feige talked candidly about how Disney Plus has devalued the MCU brand. Not him, of course. Not him. Disney Plus devalued the brand. As he puts it, it was just too much. It was a big company push, and it doesn't take too much to push us to go. There was a mandate that we were put in the middle of. Yeah, so again, he wants to blame everybody but himself. There was a mandate. It was the company push. It's not my fault. I did my best job. I was a good little soldier, a good trooper. Okay, but who told you to go full MCU? You didn't have to do that. All right? You didn't have to shove all your ideology into every single movie as much as you could. All right, you didn't have to. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Yeah, we going with Shuri, you know, and playing on the death of Chadwick Boseman and all of that. You didn't have to do that. These are choices you made. All right, you didn't have to put that god awful She-Hulk out there. All right, and having her dressing down the Hulk in the first episode or whatever, second episode, and acting like a straight entitled bitch the entire time. Man, I was like, bruh, you didn't have to do that. There's so many different changes that he could have did with these beloved characters that people have loved for decades. And it would have been just fine. But nah, Kevin Feige, he just wants to, blame everybody else. Oh, Disney wanted more content for its newly launched streaming platform, and Marvel Studios jumped at the chance to finally bring characters like Moon Knight and She-Hulk to our screens. And then how'd you do with Moon Knight? Bruh, one of the worst shows out there. How did you do with Moon Knight? I fell asleep on every episode. I was bored. And Moon Knight is everything but a boring character. The mandate also allowed Feige to turn the spotlight to supporting players, Loki, Scarlet Witch, and a new Captain America and more. Yeah, and then we're going to do the race swap or whatever with Captain and Black Falcon America. Instead of just saying, you know what, let him just be Falcon. Let's build on the Falcon character, and that's it. All right? Loki, I thought the Loki 2 seasons of Loki was fine, but it did nothing for the universe. It just made everything a little bit more confusing for a lot of normies. That's the other thing I think. I don't think Kevin Feige understands that the normies, you lost the normies with this shit. But you also lost them with all of the other stuff that you was doing before. Kang, not having a plan for Kang. Yeah, now Avengers Doomsday is basically just going to quietly write Kang out of the MCU. We saw this dude in Loki. We followed him. We followed him in Loki Season 2. We followed him in Quantumania. He had all kinds of presents and everything. And now, let's just get rid of him because the character's not working. But they don't want to blame. No, let's blame Disney Plus for that. Let's blame the audience for that. Let's blame the bigots or whatever. Where it's not our fault that we introduced this character and really didn't have a firm, solid plan of what to do with him. Not us. Nope, don't blame us. This is the stuff I'm talking about. So yeah, Kevin Feige, they're never going to own it. They're never going to take the rap. He's never going to blame himself. Look, it's the fans' fault that all of this shit flopped. All right? It's the fans' fault that we got this 67% drop. Like John Roca said, they just not smart enough, all right? Stupid fans just not smart enough, man. Look, it's time to start holding these creatives, these producers accountable. We do it with Kathleen Kennedy. It's time to start doing it with Kevin Feige, too. Kathleen Kennedy's dropped the ball. I want everybody out there to start saying, yo, this is Kevin Feige's fault. Maybe it's time we start saying, yo, Kev, maybe it's time for you to go because you have absolutely destroyed the MCU. And now it's at the bottom of the ocean right next to Star Wars at this point. I'm wondering how Doomsday is going to do. I don't think Doomsday is going to do all of the money they think it's going to do. And it's going to need to do a lot because they spent well over $500 million on that movie just for production, the budget alone. Before we get to any marketing, before we get to any advertising, they have dropped a ton of bread on that. I don't think that movie's going to make any money. All right. And it's probably going to be lining up right here with 2026 slate. Somewhere on the 2026 slate, we're going to be putting flop. It's going to be sad, man. Anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think about this. Look, man, I feel like you got to start talking to Kevin Feige and holding him accountable. You got to start saying, hey, look, Marvel is not where it needed to be, because you guys started dropping a whole lot of garbage. Quit trying to blame Disney Plus. Quit trying to blame your audience. Take a look at the man in the mirror and ask him to make a change, all right? But y'all let me know what y'all think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.